Okay, good evening. Today's flight, coastal flight in the Cessna 172, and we're just going to dot around Cornwall. So for this, we're going to be taking off from runway 14 at Truro, and we're going to head down to Hayle. And in Hayle, there's a airstrip at the Tempest airstrip down here, as you can see. We're going to go down there. We're going to do a straight in approach there, but we'll probably do a little circle to land as well, just to have a look. And it won't be a landing; it will be a touch and go, because then we'll head off down to St Ives as well. So St Ives, we'll head off down to. We're going to do a left-hand entry here, actually. We'll head down to St Just as well. So what we'll put here is we'll put St Just as well, which is EGHC, if I can remember. EGHC, and you've got a little, what's that? EGHC, isn't it? Yeah, EGHC. EGHC. Just perfect. Okay, so we're looking at the winds here at Truro. We're currently on the 10 knots at 170. So there's a small crosswind coming from the right. This is going to want to turn a little bit, just due to the prop. So we are going to experience that, and we'll get ready for that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to depart. And we're going to try and get between 55 and 62 knots for the climb. It's best rate of climb versus, I can't remember what it is. Rate of climb, angle of climb, whatever it is. And yeah, we'll head over. So our intention is to come out of Truro, head left, and then we'll go down the coast of Cornwall. And we'll be going over St Agnes, Portreath, Portreath, Hayle, and we'll go around St Ives as well. So I think it's quite well produced on the sim here. So we'll do that. So short takeoff here. We are going to take 10 flaps. We'll get the engine power up to around 2,400 RPM. And we go. There we go. So there's the tendency straight away to go to the right. Very sensitive on the controller here. To try and actually counter that yaw. A little bit slow to get out. There we go. Now we'll just put the nose down a little bit to get that climbing speed. Reduce that power slightly, and there we go. It's got a little bit of turbulence there. And we'll climb at that. So we'll climb at around 70 knots. We'll head out, get ourselves established nice. You've got a little bit of turbulence there. And we'll just head on over to the coast. We'll bring that now. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to trim that. Bear in mind we've got that wind coming from the right, so you can see that it's making the right wing rise. And we'll continue climbing. We're only going to go to 1,000 feet. And we're going to chill off that power a little bit now. And get nicely in the cruise. Perfect, as long as we're 500 foot above the ground, we are happy. And with that, we're going to take a turn to our left. Flaps can come up now. And we're going to drop a little bit as the flaps come up. So we'll trim for that. There we go. So we're nicely trimmed. Obviously constantly on the trim. There we go, perfect. As we come around, we've got a little river coming up. We'll go over. And we're going to head over towards St Ives and Perranporth. A little bit difficult here. We have got quite strong winds here in Cornwall at the moment. I'm looking outside my house, which I'm in Cornwall. I see the trees moving a little bit. So this movement that we're getting It's probably about right considering we're using the live weather as well. Just going to trim that as well. It is a little bit bouncy. Constantly trimming at the moment. It's just about now finding that sweet spot really. We're going to have wind that knocks us out a little bit. That's going to knock us up and knock us down. But as you can see here, we've got the occasional knock up. Occasional knock down, but it will come back down. It will settle. So you've got a little bit of lift there. So we'll bring it down again. As we come out over St Agnes. So I don't want to go much higher than 1,000, particularly when we get over the sea. Well, I do want a little bit of altitude where if I was to have an engine failure, I can get back nicely. So we head down here. Beautiful part of the world. No autopilot today, don't need any of that today. What we will do, if we hear the dogs in the background, I do apologise. And we're going to head down here, so you can see where we are at the moment. So this is Perranporth Airfield that we're coming to here. It's disused. Well, it is still used, but it's not a commercial airport. It's a small little strip, and it's used for. They get helicopters and small general aviation planes there. I actually done my motorbike test down there as well at Perranporth. We'll fly over that. So have a fly over at Perranporth, looking to our left, looking to our right as well. It's going to be much easier when the VR comes out. And there it is, Perranporth Airfield. So you've got where I done my motorbike test was just down here. Very gravelly. Like I said, it's disused. I wonder if we fly over it, whether we've got the X's over the... I keep saying disused, it's not. It's just not commercial. As we fly around, so very, very gravelly. And you've got like a cafe down here. And the motorbike area is just down here. So that's where I've done my motorbike test, just here. Thrown out of Perranporth a couple of times as well. And then what you'll see very shortly, as we come down past Perranporth, you'll see Royal Air Force Portreath as well. So Royal Air Force Portreath is an old World War II base and site. Strategically quite important because it houses a radar system that is basically our early warning from the north coast of Cornwall. Yeah, so that's only just down the road. So you've got Perranporth here, and then literally just a few miles just down here is RAF Portreath. I don't think it's shown very well in the sim. It's certainly not an airport in the sim. No aircraft have landed there for years. There was one guy that unfortunately took his life. God, I don't even know why I'm talking about that on here, but he was probably the last aircraft to go anywhere near Portreath and land, which is really, really sad. That was quite a few years ago, actually. Really, really sad. But now it's just used for like drag racing sometimes, but it's a Royal Air Force base. But it's not one of those active ones that are used for active flying by the RAF or the Navy. Obviously been in Cornwall, the Navy also operate here. We haven't gone as far up as Newquay, which is a little bit further up the coast, but that's where you've got another RAF base, and that's where the search and rescue helicopters are located. But coming back down here now, around the north coast of Cornwall as we head further west, or further down south, shall I say, we'll come across St Agnes. So St Agnes is going to be the next area that we fly towards. And we're probably going to have one of my favourite places in Cornwall very shortly that you might see. Just keeping an eye on the altitude. I don't want to go much below here in case we did have an engine failure. But you've got Wheal Coates, and Wheal Coates is a mine that's just on the edge. It might be this one here, actually. This is it. So Wheal Coates in real life. There we go. So Wheal Coates there, that mine looks a lot better in real life. Anyone has probably seen the photos of Wheal Coates. Beautiful place. I've just seen a comment. Let me stabilise this and have a read. Birthplace Cornwall is where Merlin made an illusion and sleep with the Duke of Cornwall's wife, England. Cheers and best. Whoa, thank you very much. Beautiful, beautiful place. It absolutely is, you're right. I've lived here now since I was 10, so 28 years I've been here. Watching that out, I don't want to go below 500 feet, so I am going to climb up a little bit as we come over St Agnes. So this is St Agnes here. Lovely pubs there, St Agnes. And then as we come around here, we get a little bit higher. You're going to get very soon Portreath. So Portreath is another little village in a valley, which quite a few, St Agnes is in a valley, Portreath is in a valley, Portreath's in a valley, and that creates a really good area for surf as the waves have to barrel in. Portreath again is a beautiful place. It's where when I lived in Cornwall as a youngster, it's where I used to come on holiday. And again, what we'll do is we'll take it a little bit over to the left now, see if we can see RAF Portreath. Obviously, RAF Portreath is one I spoke about just a moment ago. Disused Royal Air Force site as we come across here. And I think this might be it here. Let me have a look. This might be it. There should be a big radar on it. We'll take a little turn here. We'll have a look. I think this is it, you know. But there should be the key indicator, other than the fact that it's an airfield. Bear in mind, it's not on this. It's not on this sim. Is it's got a big ball, a big white ball, which is the radar. So it does look like this is. I don't know who that guy is. Hi, mate. Didn't even see you. So this is the old RAF Portreath site. Just going to climb a little minute, keeping that speed, and then I'm going to enter left again, or enter a left orbit, and we'll have a look as we come over. But yeah, this is the old disused RAF Portreath, which isn't really shown very well in here. Bearing in mind that the sim here graphics are from satellites, so it comes from satellites. But you can see it's very agricultural there as well, so it's used by quite a lot of farmers in that area. Okay, gonna quickly look right, quick look left, and we'll turn. And get into a turn for which take about 2 minutes to do the full. Take about a minute if we're doing a 180. Bear in mind that we're going to want to drop a little bit, so I've got a little bit of elevator up. And there you go, there's that drop coming again. So I'm just controlling that nicely. Wind's not too bad here, to be fair, as we come around. That's Portreath down there as we come over Portreath. Beautiful bar just there. Beautiful bar. Do good cocktails. And there you've got the coastal path now to Portreath. So that's definitely RAF Portreath. As I climb up slightly to get in there. And there's the old Royal Air Force Base just coming into the picture now. Can't see the radar, the big ball. You can see it for miles though. But that's not there. Now as I bring it round to the right, you will see Portreath. And again, if anyone comes to Cornwall, Portreath is definitely a place to visit. However, what has started to happen in recent times is the sand is starting to be taken away and pebbles and rocks are replacing it. So it used to be a beautiful beach. Not so much now with all the sand and all the pebbles. And that's Portreath in here. Although, to be fair, RAF Portreath is slightly in the wrong place, I would say, up here, because it's just up the coast from Portreath. It looks a little bit too far away there. Looks a little bit too far away from the coast, but that's what the radar could be. That could be depicted as the radar, the big ball. Could be that there. Again, not shown very well on here, but it's literally just a big ball of radar. Still the only reason, really, they use RAF Portreath. As we come down here, you have what's called Mermaid Rock. If I just point my nose down a minute, you've got Mermaid and Gull Rock. So this is Gull Rock. Again, not very well shown on here, but Gull Rock is a good one for the surf lifesavers. They'll get on their little paddle boards and they'll swim to Gull Rock. And then as we come down here, I'll slow down just a little bit so we can see. You have a small cove here, and you've got this cliff here, really famous inside that harbour with people jumping off it for recreation, by the way, nothing else. So in that bit there, you've got the harbour, and you've got the harbour jump there. People jump into the water from there. You've got the beach here, you've got a surf lifesaving club there, and then you've got a smaller little beach there, which kind of links in when the tide's out. Then you've got Gull Rock there. So you can see it is a little bit bigger. It's pretty cool. You've got some rocks that go against the pier there, and you've also got some old trees, like an old wooded area that actually, when there's a really low tide, you can actually see trees coming out of Portreath Beach. You do that at quite a few beaches here in Cornwall as well. So as we pass Portreath, we now go down one of my favourite roads for my motorbike. So I will often come from Redroof, which is the other side of Portreath, and I'll come up onto this cliff. And this cliff here, you can't see it very well, but there's a class road. Like this whole road, tell you what, let me put some power on. And let me climb. Again, if you are a motorcyclist and you come down, it's a brilliant road on the motorbike. Just out in the open air, on the cliff top, with all this scenery. And we'll climb a little bit now. So I thoroughly enjoy that road on a motorbike, and I've flown over this quite a few times. And again, it's obviously a simulator doesn't do it justice, but in real world, it's a beautiful bit of coastline. This. Okay, as we bring that power off now, our nose will come down, and then we can have a look across Culdrose and Gwythian. So again, really popular with tourists now as we enter 3 miles of coastline, where you have Culdrose, and you just see Culdrose Lighthouse here. Probably one of the most famous lighthouses in Cornwall. Culdrose Lighthouse there, and we come up past towards Bassett's Cove and all that sort of stuff now. So we'll turn right so we can get around, and so you can see as we keep our altitude at 9,900 feet, nice airspeed. And you can see here, this area just here, if we can get up to it, once we get there, just in here, we need to keep going left. It's really famous here for seals. So that little beach there, what you do, you come up, there's a car park right up here, you stand along this fence here, and there's seals. And it's basically where they come to in the summer. Always there, hundreds of them often, which is often really good to see. And as you come around this area here, you often see them all in the rocks and swimming around in this area here. As we come across now, you've got Culdrose Point. And you can see the lighthouse in a minute, and we'll circle around it. I don't think it's shown very well on the sim, but we'll come down a little bit lower. I don't even know if it's shown on the sim, but it's definitely a lighthouse in real life. As we come around, we'll get that wing down. And there it is, you've got Culdrose Lighthouse there. So it's not actually shown on here, which is a shame, but it's just on the end there. Lovely lighthouse. I've flown a drone over there quite a few times as well. I've got some really good videos and photos of it. As we come around Culdrose. This is very much like in real life as well. So you've got the reservoir here as well, and again you've got a lovely pub and everything there. And as we come back around, you've then got Gwythian. Hello Aaron, how are you? I'm just doing a little video of a tour of Cornwall at the moment. We're almost at my destination airport. We're going to do a little touch and go. And we've got Hayle, so we've got the reservoir here at Culdrose. We've got a small little village. There's Gwythian car park. Again, and all this when the tide's out, this whole thing is all sand and beach. And that's Gwythian car park there. And as you come down, you'll see good tile in the garden and bike riding. About to go out again. Oh mate, it's class. The weather's quite nice down here as well. Then across here you've got Hayle Dunes. Now this area here is really popular for tourists. So you've got the caravan park here, and they've probably just built. It's looking at this. It looks like it's this building here, a Weatherspoons. So you've got a haven up here, and they've just built a Weatherspoons on the cliff. It's either depicted that, or it's one of these two areas here. I think it might be that, because that's the caravan park behind it. But you've now got a beautiful Weatherspoons. And then this, as we come in, you can see this is where we're going to come in to do our landing and our touch and go, is you've got Hayle Harbour and Hayle Estuary here. So again, this is often, the tide's in at the moment. I don't know if the tide goes in and out on this game, on this sim. Actually, I think it does, because Barrow Airport, where I've flown into quite a few times, has, sometimes I land there, or I go to land there and it's underwater. So there definitely is tidal activity in the sim. As we come around here, this is Hayle Estuary. And you've got Hayle Harbour, loads of boats in there, big development now going on down here, where you've got the £1 million and £10 million houses and stuff like that. And that's in this area just here. You can see all along here now is all like modern, luxurious houses in here. Quite a treacherous little bit of tidal activity going on there at the moment. And now we're going to go and have a look at the area where we're going to land. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb back up so I can have a look. So I've not landed here before. I've taken off from here, but I've not landed. We're going to go and have a look at the airstrip at Tempest. So Tempest being the photography group. Now my airstrip is in there apparently. So again, if it's not quite clear, we'll knock it on the head and not go here, and we'll go down to St Just. I'm going to climb a little bit higher, because this is, just like in real life, it does get a little bit hilly around here. But we will have a look at it and see if we can have a go as we come around Tempest Airstrip. Managing that speed nicely as we come around. We're going to have a go. So currently we are right downwind of, I think it's runway 12. And we're getting a bit bumpy, so I am going to put some power on. And I'm going to climb a little bit, because I don't want to impact anything on the floor, because that would be embarrassing. What we'll do, we'll have an approach to land, but we won't actually land, because again, I've not flown here before. So I'm not sure. You can start seeing now that the wind in the sim is starting to come off the hills and off the buildings, and I am starting to knock around a little bit. So we'll sort that out as well. And then what I'll do is we'll turn here, coming off that power. And this is St Ives over here. My dogs are being very, very needy. We'll fly over St Ives in a minute, but we are going to very quickly have a look, see if we can get in at Tempest. St Ives are probably one of my favourite places in Cornwall. You've got Carvis Bay, you've got St Ives, Porthminster Beach. As we fly over, it's not very popular with tourists. You've got the St Ives lifeboat, which comes off a ramp just in here. And again, I'll probably, if I get lower, it's probably depicted quite well on here. But you've got the St Ives lifeboat there next to the clock tower, which is there, you can see it. And then you've got Porthminster Beach over here. And then you've got, I can't remember what's on here. I don't think it's a castle, but there's definitely a building there. Okay, as we come around, we'll fly over St Ives as we look to come into Tempest. Again, because I've not flown there for a while, I'll do a low approach and have a look, see what it's like to get into. As we come over, I don't want to lose much more height at the moment until I've nailed on where I'm landing. Bear in mind there's no runway there, it's just a strip. So I'm going to have no markers, no way of knowing where I'm landing, which is why I'm not going to try and land initially. As we come around past Porthminster. Porthminster being a quite famous beach quite a few years ago, as there was apparent sightings of a great white shark. I went down there, I was only about 22 at the time, didn't see the shark. Don't know what I'd have done if I'd seen it, I'd probably scream. But yep, so that was supposed to be here. At the moment though, we've got a pod of orcas around Cornwall. Probably not going to see that on here, but if you've seen the news, probably seen the group of orcas that are currently swimming around the coast. They're on the other side of the coast at the moment, though. They've been more on like the Lizard side. Lizard being on the south coast of Cornwall. Okay, and as we come across, we're going to line up with Tempest. You'll be able to see the field. I'm going to start slowing down. I'm going to start trimming for that as well. There we go. That's nice. And I'm going to turn onto my base for Tempest. We'll have a look. And again, I'm going to start dropping because I've ruined the lift on my wing. I'm going to just steady it there because the terrain does get a little bit high in a second. So we'll keep it there. I'm just going to trim for that. There we are. You see it's getting a little bit bumpy now, a little bit more power going in. That will raise my nose. You can hear the stall siren, the stall beep coming in, so a little bit more power as well. As we get bumpy, you can see how bumpy it's starting to get now. And that's all quite realistic as the wind's hitting the wing from underneath. The wind's coming up the terrain and hitting me. You've also got thermals being generated as well. And as we turn onto our final, quite steeply there. You'll be able to see the airstrip in just a second. There it is. As we come down, just seeing there, you can just make it out. It's quite unforgiving. As we come in, I've got quite a lot of bump at the moment. I'm going to start trimming down for that, so I'm going to put some flaps on. There's the wing down, so I need to watch that because we have got quite a bit of a draft there. So it's probably a good thing that we did come in like that. But there's the strip. So not much landing, especially when you're coming in over and you're getting the turbulence like we have. So we're coming in, we're not actually going to land here. But that's the strip. You can see that wind hitting me, that buffet. That's why it's really important to have that speed. So if I was going to come in here, I'd have to be a lot faster, really, to kind of, like, you've just seen that, like, I've not changed the power, I've just lost nearly 20 knots of airspeed. So yeah, that is an airstrip. I've not seen any planes land there for ages, but it's still depicted on the game as being an active airstrip. I'd have to have a look, really. Probably one for the helicopters. And there we go. There's, again, I've got no input in here. This is just the wind. As we drop that wing and lose that speed, a bit more power in as we come around. So I'm not going to land there. Wind's far too strong and the turbulence is far too strong there. So we'll carry on around the coast and go to St Ives. Sorry, to St Just. As we come around, you'll be able to see that airstrip again, just here. Very unforgiving. And hopefully we'll catch a sunset. The sun is setting, or it's beginning to set here. It's starting to get lower in the sky. Bearing in mind I'm only a couple of miles up from this in reality. And we'll go down now. We're going to go down another really good road to motorbike down. That's the thing, as you go deeper into Cornwall, it starts getting a little bit better for the motorbikes. So I do want to have a go at... I'm going to have a go at landing at Tempest. I probably will crash it. In reality, I'd never go to land there, but let's have a go. We'll keep the flats as they are. We will go to full flaps, mind. We'll do that in just a second. As we come down, I am going to have to come in quite fast. And I'll make a decision nice and early whether I'm going to go around or not. If I say go around, I'll launch to take off and go away. But you can see how bumpy it's going to get. You saw it a second ago. As I slow this aircraft down now. Okay, mixture's full. As we come around, we've got a nice long final here. We are going to be quite fast. We are going to do a touch and go. I'm not going to land fully, so I won't be able to get off again. Coming around. As I come round, the wing's going to drop. My aircraft's going to want to drop. I'm going to get bashed around a little bit as we come in here. You can see me starting to get bashed now. There's the airstrip. Second notch flaps going in as I bring the power back. I'm going to line up a little bit more. Don't want to come in too low over these because of the turbulence and the any of the updrafts that you saw a minute ago. There's one now hitting me. Third notch of flaps coming in now. I'm just going to trim for that. There's the updraft. So need to speed up. There it is. You can see it absolutely smacking me. So we'll get that speed coming up. See if we can do it. Looking okay at the moment. Going to go into wind at the moment. So flying into wind. Power's coming off as we come down. Again, we're flying into wind at the moment, so we're crabbing in, and I've got too much turbulence there to safely come in really, but we'd probably be able to land this if we wanted to as we come up. Kill that energy off. We're not going to do it though, we are going to take off again. Probably would be able to do that actually, to be fair. We definitely have enough time to stop. Bring those flaps back up as we come up and over, and we'll climb away. There's that updraft. Really battling now to keep that level. Okay, full power here to keep that. That's it. Now we can climb away safely. And again, what we'll do now is we'll get up and we'll go to St Just. You have got Culdrose Navy Base just down from here as well, and you've got Predannack, which is the Navy's training base as well. As we come up, what I don't want to do yet is I don't want to put it into a turn whilst I'm still getting smacked around. Get up a little bit higher before we do that. That'll do us, and feel we're not getting affected by it much more anymore now, so look right, left, look right, and we turn. At this point, I'm going to start setting that now for cruise. Bring those RPMs down. I'll head down to St Just. St Just isn't that far from here. It's just a bit of a, in reality, it's a pain in the backside to get to. You have got the A30, which is the main road that goes through Cornwall, but it's dual carriageway most of the way, but then single carriageway for a lot. What you can see now coming into the picture behind my compass, however, is a beautiful landmark called St Michael's Mount. So that is twinned with Mont Saint Michel in France, I think it is. If anyone has seen Game of Thrones, the latest one, House of Dragon, when the king, before he passes away, goes to King Viserys. He goes to what are their names? Is it no, it's not Viserys. It's Lord Coulis. So their castle, and you see them go down a path and down a some rocks in some water. And they go into a castle. That is St Michael's Mount in Cornwall. That's where they came. And what we'll do is we will take a little fly over it. But yeah, so the castle there, beautiful gardens. Got trashed by the recent storm we had. National Trust area as well, and a fantastic park. There's a great park there as well for kids. But yeah, so that is the castle. When the tide is out, there is a path that runs from the beach being here, to the castle. So you can literally walk along it. When the tide is in, there's a boat that goes across as well. So it used to be a boat on tracks. I don't know if it's still on tracks, but it used to be be able to go up onto the sand. Again, another really nice part of Cornwall is this bit here. This is St Michael's Mount. Cut off a little bit from the rest of the world, only slightly. I think they've got internet. But They're only literally, they're not even a mile off the coast. And like I said, when the tide's out, they can just walk to school or work or wherever it is. Now as we come over here, the furthest, you've got Penzance Promenade here as we come up, and you've got the last train station in England being Penzance. But you've also got here the supply route in Penzance to the Isles of Scilly. The Isles of Scilly are the group of islands to the southwest of Cornwall. I'm going to bring my flaps up now. And you've got the heliport, which is, you should see it, flying over it now, I believe. Where are we? That's the roundabout there. That's Sainsbury's, so the heliport is right here as well. Flying over it now. So big Sainsbury's there. They've just lost a trick really, because they've just closed their cafe. Really popular cafe. And as we come over, I'm going to do something a bit wild really. Come over here so you can see the train station hopefully. As we come across, there's the Solonian Free, so that's the ship that goes from Cornwall to the Isles of Scilly, and that's the train station there. Let's go and see the Solonian Free before we go to St Just, because we are nearly at St Just. As we come around, looking at my fuel, which I've got plenty of at the moment. Now the Solonian Free, this has been quite a controversial thing in Cornwall at the moment, because for a while the Isles of Scilly didn't have a link back to the mainland. They were relying on fishing vessels and their own vessels. The Solonian Free is the main ship that actually takes people to the islands. Doesn't look like that. This is showing as being red. The Solonian Free in reality is actually white. And it's being replaced. I think it's getting. There was a company that came in to replace the Solonian Free. They then, I think they went into liquidation, and then there was another one now taking it over. So it's in the right place, but it's the wrong colour, and certainly doesn't look like a cargo ship like that. But it's a real ship. And as we come across here now, you'll see we've got the villages of Mousehole and Newlyn. Mousehole, really famous for its Christmas lights. It's got a harbour which houses loads of really, really cool Christmas lights. And I take my kids there every year. As a family, we go there every year. As the sun starts to set, really, I don't know what he's looking into my eyes, and kind of romantic, this, isn't it, buddy? But yes, this is Mousehole here. Again, if anyone's ever comes to Cornwall in the winter around Christmas time, definitely worth visiting Mousehole. I'd probably get off in Penzance and walk, because the traffic is often a nightmare. Sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background. And as we come across here, you've then got Cape Cornwall, and you've got Land's End. So Land's End, the furthest south you can go in the United Kingdom, with the exception of the Isles of Scilly. And you've got Cape Cornwall, which is basically the point at which you can see pretty much 180 degrees around the coastline. What we'll do, we'll climb up a little bit, because then we can have a little play. We also got Trinity Lighthouse. I think it's Trinity Lighthouse, I think it's called. We've got a lighthouse down here as well, which, if we have a look and see, is it in here? Should be able to land there. No. Now what you can see, you've got a plane. I've just seen a plane. There he is. That one there. I believe that could be the Skybus, which is the link between the Isles of Scilly and the mainland via plane. A friend of mine actually flies that. So a friend of mine is my old gliding instructor. He flies that at the moment. The Dash 8, the Twin Otter. Really, really nice chap, Jake. And the sun's starting to set now as we come around Land's End and Cape Cornwall, and St Just is just in this region here. And again, if I was up a few thousand feet higher, you'll be able to see the Isles of Scilly. It doesn't take long to get to the Isles of Scilly. maybe 10-minute flight, 10-15-minute flight. Doesn't take long at all. This is just over the water. I think it's only 30 miles out. Again, takes a few hours in the on the Solonian 3, but it's only a stone throw away as well as we come around the southern edge. Now what we'll do a little overfly of St Just so we can have a look. As we come around and see that sunset there. I think the sunset's a little bit early because I can still see the sun outside of my window. So I think it's a little bit early in the game, in the sim. But again, anywhere along that north coast of Cornwall, the sunsets down here, especially on a day like today, are really beautiful and really nice. And you can see here as we come across areas like St Berrien, Porthcurno, and Cape Cornwall, St Just, and I haven't seen the lighthouse yet. It's a little bit further out than it's about half a mile out, I think, from here. Haven't seen it yet, but there's definitely a lighthouse down there somewhere. I think when I was in the sim last week, and I was flying a helicopter around here, and I was trying to find the lighthouse, and I actually don't think I could see it. So you'll see Land's End now. It's just got a big resort on it as well as we come down here. And we'll turn right now and over Sennan. As we come around towards the Roseland. Now that looks like the Land's End theme park. Well, it's not theme park. It used to be like a big area famous for its attraction, but not so much anymore. Although it does still have that sign that says like United States or New York this way, London this way. Yeah, that is it. So that is the Land's End attraction here. You would have definitely seen the pictures of cyclists, walkers, and that stood up by the sign, telling you how many miles it is to everywhere. And these little islands in here, that's where the lighthouse is going to be as well. So what's pretty cool on here is that, or is that the lighthouse there? That could be the lighthouse there. So that's the attraction there. Now what is pretty cool is that you can actually see my friend's house. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to point out where my friend's house is, but it's really well, again, it's really well depicted on here. That's definitely going to be the lighthouse down there. And, no, it is. It's this lot. Oh, I don't know. I have to have a look at a map. But yeah, so it's quite funny because I sent a picture to my friend the other day of me in a little helicopter landing in his garden. As we come around, we can have a look at St Just. And this is the Roseland now. Funny story, I was actually saved by the St Ives lifeboat around this area here when I was a youngster, because I went on my uncle's boat and we were taken on water. Right, I'm just going to slow down here. As I can see that the airfield, you can just see it just here as we come down. Oh, wrong button. I am quite high. I'm going to trim for this as well. And we're just going to side slip into it. There we go. And we're going to come round. Probably a little bit too fast as I come here. Definitely too high as we come around. Definitely too fast at the moment. So we'll kill off a bit of that energy and then come down. Yeah, too fast. So I'll slow down and come back round. So we'll come back and have another go. Quickly get the wind here at St Just. It's currently 12 knots from 180, so landing straight into it really. as we come around. Whilst we're now going at this speed and we're flaps in, I'm going to go back over the water, give myself a nice little run up. As we put the flaps on, we're going to get a little bit of lift. So it's important to add the power at the same time, not too much power though. As we come towards the downwind leg, or on the downwind leg, and we're going to come back around. We're getting bumped around a little bit here. Like I said, I'm just going to go over the water a little bit, give myself enough time to settle into that. Although we didn't get much turbulence on the way in, but we're probably going quite fast through it. Again, sunset probably looks that good right now. I'm inland a little bit, so I can't really see the sunset. But when I used to live at Portreath and the beach we went to a minute ago, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Okay, going to slow that down now. As you come around, I don't know if you can hear my dogs in the background, but my God. No, I can't see the airport. I think I've gone too far. Should probably climb a little bit higher because I can't see it. So I'll do another turn and I'll climb a little bit more. Oh, my boys come say goodnight. Good night, my love. And then what we'll do now, so we'll turn in. And we'll activate St Just here. There we go. EGHC as we come in. Perfect. There we go. As we come around, there's that turbulence again. Getting bashed around a little bit now. And we're going to quickly do this as a an approach. VFR pattern. Straight auto. You can see we're just a little bit too far away from it at the moment, really. So we'll come around. Bit of a sketchy bank, but we can get around it. I've got it now. Perfect as we come in. Slowing down. Second notch of flaps gone in. A little bit of turbulence here as we come around. There we go, I've got the airfield now. So I'm slightly low, so I'm going to climb a little bit. I am getting bashed around a little bit. I am getting bashed around quite a lot. As we come up here, as you can see, it's in the tree, in between the trees, which I didn't see it a minute ago on my first pass. There we go. Let's take this altitude for a minute as we come in. Get bashed around a little bit more. Gonna let that settle a minute. Gonna pick up some speed here, just to get through that a little bit. There we go. So one white, one red. We're looking good. As we come in, it's very bumpy. Again, it's been quite windy today, so too high now. You can see it absolutely smashing me as we reduce that power. We'll put in that third notch in just a second. There we go. There's the drag. There's the wing drop. As we come in, I'm keeping it a little bit faster just because of that turbulence. Still a little bit high, but I'm happy. As we come in, into wind, which we know is at 160. As we come down, there's that wing drop, so quickly combat that, power and up. There we go. As we come in, quite nicely, power off, looking up the runway, a little bit of a bounce. Not my finest landing. I could have got into the ground effect for a little bit longer there, but yeah. Right, looking at the time, I think what I might do now is take off from here, head back down to work, so work being Culdrose. Although this time what I might do is just switch aircraft and go for a helicopter flight down there. So we'll come out of here and flight. EGHC, and we're going to go to EGDR, which is Culdrose Navy Base, and we'll do it in a helicopter. It's not that far, and we should get there before dark. And the helicopter of our choosing today will be let's go for with the Eurocopter. Eurocopter's usually quite fun. We'll take one little flight over Predannack and Goonhilly Air Station. Goonhilly Air Station having they done some monitoring for NASA for the Artemis 2 as well as Goonhilly. I can't remember what they were doing for it, but they were doing something. They were definitely involved in the spacecraft mission, which is good for Cornwall. And for anyone that is familiar with the news in Cornwall, you often get we're linked quite heavily with the spaceport as well, so spaceport Nuki. Okay, out to the runway, into that hover, stable it up there, nice and easy. There we go, and we'll come around as we get into that hover. Away from that tower. We'll taxi nicely over here. Got the grass taxiway here as well. We'll just taxi directly to the runway, just so you can see from outside what we're looking like. The Eurocopter, and what we'll do is we'll just come over here sideways, just to line ourselves up nicely with the runway, and then we'll depart. So again, the key with helicopters is really simple little movements. As we come in, come over the runway, bit of power, nose down, and get the speed before we climb. And we're going to come up through these trees, and again we're going to come around Penzance through the heliport. And the only problem with this helicopter is they haven't really sourced the dynamics out yet on it, but you can see here as I'm trying to trim, it then wants to fight me. So, but it'll be all right. We'll just trim nicely. You see, when you see it jolt like that, it's just where I'm having to take my finger, or my finger off the controller, so I can make sure it's trimmed right, which it is now. And again, we'll climb a little bit, and we're going to be careful of the wind turbine here that you can see. Again, the wind farms are depicted quite well on this sim as well. And we'll take a visit to the Penzance heliport as well. And again, I spoke about the Penzance heliport a minute ago, being the helicopter link to the Isles of Scilly. if anyone ever gets a chance to do the helicopter flights around Cornwall, they do sightseeing flights around Cornwall, and again, it's a lovely way to see the land. You can also go up for, obviously, if you want to go up in a plane, you can get the taster sessions of flying lessons, all that sort of stuff as well. Again, that's a little bit of wind there. As we come around, we've got the wind turbine just underneath us. There we go. And we'll come up, and we'll come around Senan, and we'll come around Newlyn and Mousehole, and we'll head into Penzance. We'll overfly St Michael's Mount, we'll overfly Logan Rock, we'll overfly St Keverne, Ruan Minor, and all those areas down there. So all on the south coast of Cornwall, and like, the Lizard and all that sort of stuff as well. So we'll get to see all that very shortly. Need to be quick though, as the sun is setting, and don't want to be out in the dark really. As we come around, you just see the opening for Penzance just in here. As we come in over the rocks and the cliffs. Not many beaches on this side, to be fair. Hardly any beaches on this side of Cornwall. Mainly rocks and harbours. Obviously Newlyn and Penzance and Mousehole, that just being very famous for their fishing. One click of the collective and it wants to throw me up into the air. And then you've got obviously Penzance, famous for its pirates. Water. And we'll carry on coming around here. I didn't expect to come in tonight and do a little scenic tour of Cornwall, but like I said, the weather's been really nice outside. It's almost time that I can actually go properly flying over Cornwall, though most of my stuff I do from work is gliding. There's not much lift that you can generate over it. I mean, no, you can go all over Cornwall in a glider, but again, it's all very weather dependent. But I glide from this side of Cornwall over here. And as we said a minute ago, we're going to go take a quick visit into the heliport. I probably shouldn't have flown this helicopter because this one doesn't handle very well on here. As you can see, every time I press down on the collective to lower the aircraft, it wants to throw itself into the floor, so you've got to be really sharp on it, and then you get random movements on it. So as we come around Newlyn, and there's Mousehole in there, famous for the Mousehole cat. And then you've got the Minack Theatre as well, which you might be able to see in a minute as we come across that, which is a theatre that's on the edge of Cornwall, basically on the rocks. And it's going to be a little bit wobbly now because, like I said, the controls on here aren't that fantastic. And then you've got all these boats coming now in, so we're going to Newlyn and Penzance. As we come out over the sea, you've got the Selenium 3 there. There's the harbour at Newlyn. As we come in, we're going to come over the top of the Selenium 3 and we're going to land in Penzance heliport as well. As we come over, again, it's really unstable on the sim. As we come over, we want to slow down, but again, it knocks us away quite a bit. As we slow down, bring that collective down. As we come in around this road, we're going to swing left and land at the heliport. Again, when you see it flip up in the air, half of that is what the aircraft's doing, but half of it is me trying to work out if I'm trimmed all right. Really important that we go in trimmed. And the only way I can do that is by actually taking my left finger off the stick. I haven't got a flight control stick and there's no feedback, so we're going to slow down here. As we slow down, we pull back on that cyclic stick as we come around. And we're just going to come in really slowly around Penzance Promenade, just checking to see where we're at. We've got the heliport to our left, so we'll come in around all these. And again, this is the same route as the Isles of Scilly helicopter takes. As we come in, they'll be a little bit higher than me. As we come in over all these buildings here, we'll come in nicely. You can see we've got an airspeed of 4. We're definitely going more than 4. Or 4 knots. As we come around, descending slowly, picking up the roundabout there. As we come in, there's the airfield there. Again, this is the approach they take on for the actual helicopter for the Isles of Scilly at the heliport. Kind of coming in a little bit slower, but they've come in here. As they come in, it's been around for years this, but they've recently replaced their helicopter. This uses a Sikorsky. As we come in here, we'll come in nicely here. Landing at Penzance heliport. Coming in nicely to get into that hover. There we go, nice. So you see what it looks on the outside. There you go. Down on the floor nicely. We'll bring that trim back now. And we'll quickly run over to Culdrose. My daughter's come and sat next to me, which means only one thing, it's film night. So that means this is going to have to be very quick. So we'll do a proper little takeoff here. There we go, we'll get ourselves up. We'll come backwards this time, so in case we get an engine failure, we can land straight back on that helipad as we come forward. Stabilise that there. And we'll go nose down. Engine failure now, I'm going into that roundabout. And then we'll come straight around. That there's a Morrison's. I don't know what that is, that's definitely not there in reality. As we fly over Penzance Promenade. Now what you can see here again, like we said a minute ago, sorry about the dogs, St Michael's Mount. So St Michael's Mount again was in Game of Thrones. I think St Michael's Mount was in a Harry Potter as well, wasn't it? Was St Michael's Mount in a Harry Potter? I can't remember. I'm gonna throw these dogs out in a minute. And St Michael's Mount is here, so only a couple of minutes away from Culdrose. And again, this is a real life, a proper castle on the Cornish coast, twinned with Mont Saint Michel in France. I'm sure it's France, but there's another one that looks just like this. It's just a little bit pointier. You've got a lovely cafe just in there, but they are very expensive. It's like £7 for a sandwich. Ridiculous. And the castle doesn't really look like that, but it is a castle nonetheless. And then we'll fly over Portreath Harbour, which you'll see in just a second. You've also got Low Bar. And you've got Porthcurno. Funny story, when the Royal Air Force had helicopters and done search and rescue down here, my brother was rescued from there. From a winch and helicopter. That's why I joined the Navy, that was, to be fair. Saw a rescue. And then we'll come past here where you've got the Lizard and everything. And we're going to turn around and head into Culdrose. What you might see, I can't remember seeing them before, but we should have Goonhilly Earth Station, which is the Earth Station actually used for space communications and monitoring things in space. Again, like I've just said a minute ago, they were involved in the Artemis 2 mission as well. And this is where you'll find me quite a lot of the time in a glider in the summer. Is down in this area around here. We'll take off from Culdrose and fly around this area here. Being down here, you've got Portreath. So Portreath, if you've seen any pictures of storms in Cornwall, no doubt this is where you're seeing them from Portreath. So you walk across Low Bar Beach, quite a dangerous beach. You're actually not allowed to swim there because of the currents, into Portreath, which is just here, and it's notorious for its storms as well. Yeah. Then you've got Low Bar, like I said, the current, you're not allowed to swim there because it will just wipe you out. And I'm just trying to get this trim. You can see as we're going under these clouds now, those clouds are I mean, it could be a result of the lift that I've just got, I don't know. But then you've got Low Bar here. Beautiful National Trust walk. We'll come around and we're going to head towards Culdrose. I'm just going to trim this. As you can see, it's nowhere near trimmed because I'm flying on the stick. There we go. Almost. Yeah, no, that's just acting silly now. That weren't me. So we'll recover from that one because I don't know what the hell that was. If that happened in real life, we're falling out of the sky. And we'll climb up for our approach into Culdrose. Been quite windy down here today. We've also got Predannack, which is down here, disused naval base, although it is still used for training, and also all the drone units as well. For the military now is going into quite a lot of autonomous stuff, as you can probably see in the news, as we fly towards Helston. Do a little climb here. I've got a dog in my face at the moment. And this here is Helston, so again, village on the edge of Cornwall. Largest one on this side, home to thousands of people. And you've got Culdrose, you can just see Culdrose in the background. And you've got Predannack down here as well. There's Helston. Green areas you can see, you've got a couple of fields, you've got a football pitch as well. And then you can see Culdrose as we're coming towards it now. So Culdrose Navy Base here. And what I'll do, we've still got a little bit of light. So whilst we've still got a little bit of light, I'm going to go and see if I can find the Earth station. And over here you've got, that's Low Bar as well. No, it's not Low Bar. But you can see the Navy station here. A lot of battle honours at that station. We used to have 771 Squadron, the Search and Rescue Squadron. In there you can just make that out, that's the Helford River. And then as we come around here, hopefully you'll be able to see Predannack as we fly down towards it. Predannack being just down here, right on the south coast of Cornwall. We'll get a bit more speed in. And over here, this way you're going to have St Cavern and the Lizard. Very horrible stretch of road this. Good on a motorbike. If you're a cyclist or a runner, it's always windy. Always windy. I don't really enjoy it. I try and get out when I can, but it's ridiculously windy. Well, I cannot see the Earth stations at the moment. And the satellites. But we can see Predannack. Got Mullion to our right. You've got the golf course. You can just see the golf course here. As we come over, Island golf course there. Again, what a place to have a golf course. There's quite a few of those around Cornwall, right on the edge, on the cliffs. And I'm just trying to trim this aircraft out, which is why it's going left and right a little bit. Perfect-ish. There we go. And then you've got Predannack. So disused, used by... it's still used for training. It's used it for the fire school there. And there's loads of like abandoned aircraft there as well. Although I do believe, I think some of them have started getting removed because there's becoming quite a lot of antisocial behaviour down here. Still guarded, still not allowed on it, but people still do go on there. Again, but it's a very desolate piece of Cornwall, this over here. There's not much leading between Culdrose and here. There's not much there at all. As you can see just by looking at this, it's shown pretty well on here of what it looks like in reality. Quite a few runways though. It's got there's a big area around here as well. As we fly over. Often on this sim, you can actually see some of the Navy traffic. If Navy are using it, if they're basically putting their ADSB out there, you can actually fly around. They've got some helicopters in the sky. You can fly around with them. And then what we'll do now is, it is going to get dark very soon. We're going to head over back to Culdrose. I'm coming this way because I want to see if Goonhilly is on here. What I can see already is the wind farm. The wind farm is definitely real and is definitely there in reality. I can't yet see the Earth Station. It would be pretty cool if I could see that, because I've not seen it on here before as we come around. Got the Earth Station over here. Sorry, you've got the wind farm over here. Just gonna have a look, see if we can see it. Can't see it at the moment. As we turn around, getting battered a little bit here. Don't think we're going to be able to see it, but there's an Earth Station down there somewhere. Oh, is this it? I think this could be it just here. Let's have a look. So you've got the wind farm here. Are these the satellites? Those shiny things, are they the satellites? Trying to see them, I can't see them. Or is that it? But they're not shown very well. Be pretty cool if they were in here. No, that's not it. Just trying to see if I can find them. Let me go outside. So got the wind farm there. Can't see the satellites. That might be them. Let me go and have a look. But it seems that they seem a little bit too close to Culdrose for that. I can't see them anywhere else. I'm sure they're right here. I think this is them here. They're not depicted very well. This looks like the station there, because you've got all the circular. If we go do another orbit a minute, yeah, that's Culdrose there. But if we do another orbit, it's a shame they're not shown on here because they are huge. Pretty cool to see from the air as well. Bear in mind this is a simulator, so not going to see that much. Look at that sun. As we come around, okay, our bank's a little bit great, but we don't mind that. As we come around, here we go. Yeah, so this is definitely the Earth Station here, because you've got all the circular bits where the satellites are, but they're just not showing very well on here. But this area is huge. Massive satellite dishes. Yeah, that's definitely it. So that is. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's the sim playing up. Yes, it's here. Sim dynamics still aren't brilliant. But yep, so that's Goonhilly. Right, we'll turn around. The aircraft's turning me naturally anyway. And we'll head back to Culdrose. And that will be it for tonight for this quite spontaneous trip of Cornwall. Again, I do encourage anyone that does come to Cornwall to get yourselves in a little helicopter or plane scenic flights, it's fantastic from the air. There are also gliding clubs around if you do want to get yourself into a plane that has no engine and you fancy having a go. There is the Seahawk Gliding Club, which does take people out on request, and that is on this bit of coastline here. And you'll fly over this station, you'll fly over Portreath, you'll fly over this wind farm here. And sometimes, and again, bearing in mind this is a simulator, but if this is in reality, you know, sometimes we do, considering I live in Cornwall, I do sometimes take where I live for advantage, really. Okay, so as we come in, we're going to start coming off this speed as we start coming into, there's the sim being a bit of a donut. As we start coming into Culdrose. We're going to come in on the main runway here. And we're going to come around into wind. So at the moment the wind, if I can see, is, let's have a look. It's not letting me see it, but it was at 160 a minute ago. So we'll come back in this direction. Just going to trim it out, so you'll see it knocking a little bit as I try and trim it. There we go. Again, you wouldn't do this in a real aircraft because you've got force feedback. Every time we see those little bumps, not the big ones, we've had a few big ones today, but the little ones, it's me having to take my thumb off my controller to see if I'm trimmed well. Because otherwise, you know, in a real helicopter, you've got spring feel, you've got force feedback, so you'll be able to feel it. And now what we'll do, we're going to come in on that runway there. As we come into the sunset. Now that's probably saying earlier on, like, oh, I don't think that's very real, but the sun's definitely gone down now looking outside. So the timing of sunset probably is actually accurate. 180 at 12 knots, there you go, perfect. Thanks, Aaron. That's the thing, if I take my my hand off this for even a second, it'll just bite me in the backside. Saw your YouTube videos earlier on as well, on your racing game. I keep thinking about, like, because I sometimes play, what was I playing yesterday? Wipeout. I was thinking, do I stream that? I don't know. And like, what else was I playing? FIFA and Dead by Daylight. I don't know. Right, here we go as we come in. So we're going to land at my work. As we come around, trim for that as well. I'm going to start bleeding that airspeed off. Got plenty of time to come down the runway. It's a huge runway. Again, anyone that's familiar with this place would have recognised this place as where the Olympic flame flew into. So I think it came from Greece, David Beckham, on a jet, on a plane, and this is where the Olympic flame, when it came through Cornwall, when it came to Cornwall, where it came in from Culdrose. As we come into runway, I think it's 16. It is 16, I think. I should know that really. As we come in, we're going to have a crosswind here as well. As we come around, you can see it's already starting to hit me a little bit. As we come in. No, it's 11. Oh yeah, you get 1129. Come in here. We are going to land quite far over this way, deliberately over this way. You can see the wind there from the windsock. There's the tower. What you can't see in reality, there's quite big hangars here. And this is where I'm going to go. I want to go over here. as I come in, slow down, we'll come into that dispersal there, there we go. So we're going to turn into wind for a minute. Into that hover, that's nicely done. And then we'll come over to the left hand side here, into this dispersal, and then that is the end of the flight. You can see the helicopter spots here, so they're quite realistic here. Just like in reality. So it's done quite well here. It's quite realistic, this, of where we are. Again, you can look on Google Earth and see this. This is the car park. As we come into the dispersal, they've put a plane on it. Plane's just magically appeared. Should be helicopters on here, really. As we come into land, we'll head into this spot here. We'll turn into wind as we do so. There we go, coming in nicely, bit of concentration here. A lot of little movements on that stick, you can probably see how slight they are. Okay, looking up, and now bring it into the hover, and down. And there we are. We are safely, a little bit off centre, but on the ground at Culdrose. And that is it. That is the flight done. As we come down here. Oh, it's not going to let me, is it? No, it's not going to let me. So, is that why? Is it locked? How do I unlock it? Doesn't let me unlock it. So we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. You see our engine's now running down. There we go, look. As they run down. Where RPM drops. And if I put this on, slow down those rotors. There we go, they're coming. In reality, you'd have an APU now that you turn on, but we're going quite quickly. Turn it off. And that is it. Right. Thank you very much for watching. That was a flight around Cornwall. Take care. Speak soon.